Hi, Sharks. Financial Sharktress Galit Sadiq here. Happy Money Monday. I am live with a special guest, Sarah Romulo. She is one of my very, very close friends. I love her. And she's also a certified precision nutrition L1 and wellness coach and founder of Grace and Grit, a coaching program that helps individuals transform nutrition and create real lasting changes to their health and wellness. After suffering from fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, and bloating from IBS and hypothyroidism for years, Sarah worked alongside her functional practitioner to heal her gut, lose weight, and uncover her healthiest self through anti inflammatory nutrition and lifestyle strategies. Sarah created Grace and Grit to help clients go deep and get to the root of what's keeping them stuck from feeling their best, whether it's stress, nutrition, or lifestyle choices, and then help them flip the script on it all. Sarah is super passionate about coaching individuals through their self doubt, empowering them with the tools to create a healthy and energetic lifestyle. She's super passionate about anti inflammatory lifestyle, results without dieting, taking care of you first, and helping her clients live their best, most aligned life. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, that was a mouthful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me here. And I want to apologize first if you hear me screaming in the background. Gio might be calling out for me in a few minutes, even though I told him to leave me be down here. So,
Yeah, no problem. We get it. I usually I mean, they're pretty quiet right now, but my birds are usually like yelling at each other in the background to the
that
point where people have asked me, like, are you somewhere tropical? Like, nope, nope. This is just my house that sounds like this.
that keeps things interesting for sure.
Yeah. So we know each other for a while now. And actually, you owned a gym in Rockaway, and were actually the person who helped me quite a lot on my health and wellness journey. So I'm pretty excited to have you here.
Oh, that means a lot to me. It was a super amazing experience working with you back there, and you helped me so much as well. So in my business, with a lot of financial things, so that was a huge help, and I'm glad to reconnect here and see whatever I can do to help your audience. So
Yeah. So tell me, I know that you have some programs coming up,
yeah.
and we're getting into the holiday season. I think we're like 4 weeks away from Christmas. So it's like crunch time. And this is when people start to get like tense.
Yes. Well, it's funny because I've been talking a lot about my experience over the holidays when I owned the gym, really when I owned the gym. So we owned the gym for 10 years in Rockaway Beach. It was an amazing experience, but unfortunately, I wasn't the best coach at the time because I wasn't taking care of myself. And this happens to a lot of us, right?
Mm.
Um, we're really good at telling other people what would be best for them, but we don't always take the action and do it for ourselves. Um,
Yeah.
so I wasn't really moving much. I was not eating, I had, and I still have this thyroid condition, and it was causing a lot of gut health issues. And I wasn't really taking care of, I was taking my medicine, but I wasn't really taking the lifestyle measures and the nutrition measures that would really help me to feel better. So during the holidays, it was like I just couldn't wait for them to be over. I thought, oh, this is fun, tree, presents, but I just was waiting for January 2nd so I could just get back to work and like, sign up new members and take care of my members that I had and, not really stop to slow down and actually enjoy this kind of magical time for most people and for your kid or your
Yeah.
kids. So I wouldn't really enjoy that time. I didn't, all I thought about was like what I needed to do for my business, having parties for my clients, members, my coaches, doing things like that. And I really didn't just slow down to think about like the simplest things, like just being present for the holidays. And I felt like crap. So, so this year I created this program, but even before the program that I created, I've just been talking to people and asking them, what do they think of when they think of the holidays? There's three, like usually three different types. So the one that was like me, who just can't wait to get through the holidays, super stressed out, like, oh, this is causing more like damage than good, right? So many decisions to make, so much like just fatigue. So I couldn't wait to get to January 2nd. Then you have B, the other personality type, who is like excited, but really like horrified when they think about going to parties and what they're going to put on their plate. And they're going to feel really guilty if they eat the cheese or eat the dessert or have the drink. And it's just like agonizing, going back and forth, like maybe not eating all day long just so they can save up and like have this amazing selection that night, but then they still feel bad about it after, you know?
Yeah.
And then C, which is the person who will go and they're pumped to go to the party. They're excited. They want to eat all the things and indulge and drink. But then the next day, they're gonna like punish themselves in the gym for maybe 2 hours, you know, for whatever they did the night before. And that's kind of, I feel like being a gym owner, that's something that can be encouraged, right? By like, oh, we're going to pregame, it's Thanksgiving, we're going to come in and we're going to work out for 2 hours and like be laying on the ground, sweat, like just dying from the workout, but we're going to go later and then we're going to like stuff ourselves and feel like absolute death after eating the things that we ate. And then the next day we're going to go back and we're going to like kill ourselves in the gym again because we still feel bad about what we ate, even though we pre-gamed in the gym earlier. You know, so there's three different types, and I'm trying to like, I feel like it's my mission now that I've changed my ways and I'm like super present and excited and feeling like, you know, obviously taking a different level of care for myself with my nutrition and my self-care. I want to show other people what is possible and how they can show up and actually like go to parties, eat the food and not have to save up calories all day long. You know, there's other strategies and things they can do and just like forgive themselves, go in there, eat the food that they would love to enjoy and truly enjoy it, not feel bad about it, and not kill themselves with a workout the next day. So those are the things that I've been like really passionate about right now, like helping people solve those problems. So
yeah, and I think it's important to note that we need to kind of be present during this time. Like you said, you were type 1 or type A.
yeah.
That kind of just like wanted to get the holidays over, but the holidays can be such a beautiful time, and especially if you have kids or you get to see your family and you don't get to see them very often during the year.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the times that you want to be present and you don't want to feel guilty about every single thing that's happening, especially like what you're putting in your mouth.
Yeah. Like you deserve, like whether you worked out or not that day, you deserve to go to the party and eat the cheese. If the cheese isn't going to make you feel sick and it's something you really desire, like eat that cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese, it's okay. You know.
Yeah.
But it's stuff that's getting thrown at us from every angle. Like, you know, you have to do this type of exercise because this is going to burn the most calories, and you have to like eliminate carbs because they're bad for you, or you have to only eat 1,200 calories, and all these things we're being told, and all this pressure we put on ourselves because we listen, you know. And it's just really frustrating. I don't think it's helpful at all to people.
Yeah. And when we're trying to like, so now we have the 4 weeks, but we also have right before that, we have Thanksgiving coming this week.
Yeah.
And we're trying to kind of plan things out. How do we stay on track in these next 4 weeks? Is there anything that you do specifically?
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the things that I feel like move the needle for me and my health the most is like doing things like getting great quality sleep is first and foremost before you even worry about, like, again, what you're eating and drinking, is getting that quality sleep, because when you are well rested, you make really aligned decisions, right? When you have not slept and it's like a pattern that's happening, it's really easy to become unmotivated, to become just like your mindset is just kind of defeated. And it's easy for you to crave, literally to crave foods that are probably not going to give you the kind of fuel that you need to get through your day, right? And again, I have no problem with, like, I encourage my clients to eat pizza or have a cookie or do things like that. But there are foods that are going to make you feel better and give you the energy that you need. And so, like, those other things can be just like, okay, I enjoy this from time to time, right? But when you are working on very low sleep, you know, you do happen to crave, like, there's studies that show that you crave this stuff that's like salty, sweet, and fatty. Like, those are the characteristics of the things that most people crave. Like, you don't crave carrots when you haven't slept, you know? So, so that's one thing, is really getting good sleep so that also cognitively you can be sharp, you can make better decisions. And you can also, like, that's when your body does heal. You know, your body does a lot of processes during the night when you're sleeping, when it's resting. If you're working out a lot, that's the time that you need to actually recover, for your muscles to recover. So there's a lot of things that happen in your sleep, that when you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep a night, or really broken sleep, even if you're in bed longer, can wreak havoc on your body. So, you know, like, some of the things that I recommend for my clients, and since COVID happened and, you know, we had to close our gym and there were a lot of really stressful, big life changes. I really lost my sleep. I was always a great sleeper before that. And I went through a million different strategies to try to help get better sleep. So, I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is really being real with yourself and really, like, you know, journaling, doing things that can really help you identify what's going on that's really disrupting you, right? So that's probably the biggest thing I would say. But also, you know, keeping your room at a cooler temperature, below 68 or below. It might feel great to get into like cozy bedroom, but that is actually makes it harder to get like steady, restful sleep. Minimizing work in the bedroom. So I'm sure this is something you talk to clients about a lot. Really just using your bedroom for sleep and for intimacy is what is essential, because when you have these little reminders around your room of work, like, I used to read nutrition books in bed, and I was wondering why I was waking up all night, like, thinking about vitamin A and like carbohydrates, you know. So that's a big one. And like, really, like, I'm breaking my rules right now because Galit, I love you and I want to be here, but powering down, you know, like 1 to 2 hours before, I should have on my blue light glasses right now, but powering down 1 to 2 hours before bed is super essential, right? So, and I actually have one more really good tip I want to share with you. If you have a partner that snores, which so many of us do, I didn't really notice it until I think I started having some sleep trouble. But Chris is not a super loud snorer, but he does snore. And so I positioned a white noise machine by his head, right? So yes, white noise machines, everybody talks about them, but it's kind of essential where you put it, because if you put it in the direction of where the noise is coming from, it kind of drowns out the noise. But if you put it on your side of the bed, you still like hear that snoring coming from the other side of you, you know? So I've tried a lot of different things, and drowning out a snoring partner, that seems to do the trick. So
I think have to get my husband a white noise machine because I'm the snorer.
So have you tried where you position it or?
I have not. We don't have one. I think that's
Oh,
actually a really good idea because I mean he snores sometimes,
yeah,
but I'm definitely the major offender when it comes to
yeah,
that.
that's so funny. So do you sleep on your back?
Um, yeah, between my back and my side.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the best. So I'm always elbowing Chris, kicking him like, turn over. But, he'll turn over and then he literally comes right back to his back. But I've seen these shirts that have a tennis ball on the back of them. And so they keep your part
Oh.
on their back. It's so funny. I'm like, I'm getting him that for Christmas for sure. That's a good one.
Yeah. So for me, it's weird because I had spine, like I have to put my feet up on pillows.
Okay.
And so that's why the majority of the night I'm kind of like
On,
on my back because my feet, like my knees are propped up so that my spine is
yeah.
straight during the night.
Right.
Um, yeah, because my butt is big. And so if I were to like lay flat, then my back isn't
Yeah.
straight and my spine was fused in a standing position. So like when I'm in a sitting position, I'm less comfortable. So like it's like this weird kind of dance that I do every night with like multiple pillows.
Oh my God.
But I mean, a white noise machine would help. And I know I understand the benefits of like getting amazing sleep and it works so well, especially from like a financial standpoint. And during these next few weeks, like we want to be making good decisions. We want to be making like healthy, well thought out, rational decisions and not like impulse buys and impulse just like you said, you don't want to be eating the crap. You also don't want to be like buying the crap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
So true. I didn't really think of that, but it is going to be a time for like so much is going to be getting thrown at you over the next few weeks. It's going to be insane. Just
yeah.
like in January, you're going to be like accosted by all of the like teas, wraps, um, different like detox diets and things that are just like for this quick fix and it's going to be terrible. It's probably already starting. But no, I think they're waiting for us for January 1st. So,
Yeah, they wait for all the New Year's resolutions to like lose weight and then they like bombard you. I know I'm sure like being a gym, a former gym owner, you had so many people that would come and sign up January 1st
yeah.
or the first week in January.
Yes. You know what the weirdest thing, and this comes to me a lot. This is just kind of interesting fact, but the last year we were open was in 2020. We closed in March, and I kept asking, why aren't people coming in to sign up in January? This is so strange. Like normally we would get bombarded. Like November, December would be dead, and then January we would be slammed with people trying out like programs and stuff. And that's when COVID, like I don't know if like people had it before they knew or just like it was also a really bad flu season and everybody was sick and I was just like how can this happen? And then we went through like the craziest global pandemic after that. So that
Yeah.
January, nothing compared to what was about to go down. But anyway, do you want another tip?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is so key, and I'm sure for you, Galit, this is going to be, I mean, this is huge, and I know that you were already doing this way before COVID happened, but hydration, right? So, I mean, these are the basic foundations that seem like, oh, you're like, oh, Sarah is telling me this stuff I already know. But truly, with these 5 things I'm going to tell you, like, these are things that can totally move the needle forward in your health. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. I mean, yes, there are like macronutrients that you need to make sure that you're eating and in a certain balance. And, there's inflammatory foods that could be really flaring up your system for sure. But just like if you guys started with these 5 things, you'd be doing really well. So hydration. So I mean, it's going to increase your energy. It's going to relieve fatigue. I don't know about you, but there's been times where I'm like, oh, I'm really hungry, or oh, I'm so tired. And I drink a glass of water and I've like totally forgotten about that low in my energy that I had 10 minutes before. So water is like the easiest, quickest thing you can do to feel more alert. I mean, our brains are just made of water, right? So it makes sense when we get dehydrated that we're going to be slowed down. We're going to be a little confused and lethargic. So it also promotes like drinking enough water, helps to maintain a healthy weight. It flushes out toxins. It's like increases our skin health. So there's so many things that it's beneficial for, but it's bio-individual. So I won't just say like drink half of your body weight in water. It depends on your circumstances. If you live in a hot, dry climate like you, Galit, you're going to need more water than me, right? In New Jersey, right? We can say like it's really a great place to start is to have 2 liters of water a day, right? So that's 64 ounces. That's really not a lot.
Okay.
But if you work out a lot, if you live in this hot, dry climate, if you don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, like you really want to be more at 96 ounces, right? So that's 3 liters of water. So like for people that hate water, that sounds like, what? 96 ounces? That feels really daunting, right? So what I do is tell people, just start by adding in 1 extra glass of water a day. Just start with that. Like if that feels like all you can do that for a week. And then but pay attention to your body and see how you feel during that week as you're getting more water. Sometimes I have clients that come to me that drink literally 20 ounces of water a day, and they drink Diet Coke and other things that are not necessarily making them feel great.
Yeah.
So just increasing their water makes them feel so much better. And the best ways for people that don't really like water is to drink seltzer. Because most people, if they don't like water, they do like sparkling water with like lemon or like maybe oranges, like segments in it, raspberries thrown in there, or just like a diffused pitcher of water that has fruit down the center. That helps for a lot of people that don't like just regular water. Having a bottle like this with a spout on the end, it sounds so lazy, but this makes me drink so much more water. And I like water, but it's just, I'm busy and sometimes I forget to slow down and drink my water. But if I have this next to me, I'll go through a bottle like this in no time. And this is 32 ounces, so you can really like little small things. If you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, that gives you extra water. If you like herbal tea, that like counts towards your water for the day. So that you drink a lot of water, though. I remember you being.
I don't drink as much as I used to. I should. I do drink a lot of water because I have POTS, and if I get dehydrated, I have really messy day the next day, heart-wise. And so like I try to stay hydrated. But I like the taste of water, but something that I kind of do in tandem with that is I have like the Crystal Light, the little squeezy drinks.
Okay.
Like I'll just like squeeze a squirt in the water, and then it like feels like you're drinking juice, even though you're not. You're getting all the water.
Right.
And I think it just adds something like 3 to 5 calories or something like that. And
drinking real sugar than like having all these fake artificial like sugars and stuff. So if it gives you 3 to 5 calories, no big deal.
Yeah. So that's like one of the things that I like, and it helps me get more water. Because I do actually like seltzer, and I know that my husband does that. Like he had a problem where he was dehydrated all the time here, and then we just started buying a ton of seltzer. And now he just like pounds them down. So it does work, kind of like switching to that. And it's really honestly not super expensive to do that as well. So
you could. I mean, I used to have this a long time ago, but those seltzer Soda Stream, I think it's called.
Stream. I used to have that.
Yeah. I just would go through it so fast. It would be frustrating. I'm like, I don't want to go make the seltzer.
Yeah, because the bottles are kind of small.
Small.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. But that's a great, like those two things right there, sleeping better, quality sleep, hydration, and then of course, moving your body daily. So one place we got stuck a lot, especially since COVID, working from home or being on the computer, being in an online world for people that weren't used to that before, is just being like hunched over their computer for like 8 to 10 hours, which was me after we closed the gym. And I was just so like in this tear to like rebuild my business and get things going and study and do different things. So I was constantly sitting on the couch on my laptop. And I actually have herniated discs. And during the first year, I got 2 terrible flare-ups where I couldn't walk for like a week. I was on steroid packs and I was in excruciating pain. And I know that was from just sitting in this bad position, not moving my body at all. Like being inactive can be just as unhealthy as being overactive, you know, overly active. So, and like doing really strenuous, hard workouts. So yes, like, and plus just for your mental health, like it builds endorphins when you exercise, it keeps your metabolism going. It just sets up the stage for your day, especially if you do this in the morning time or take a break during the day. But the thing about sitting on your computer there straight, I mean, it happens to all of us, right? So really it's key to either have some kind of device that you wear that just gives you a little like it notices, like I know we both have the Aura ring. I don't have mine on right now, it's charging, but you know, that will tell me if I'm sitting for too long. It says like, hey, is it time to stretch your legs? And
Yeah.
thank you. So I'm not sure how long it does that, like if it's an hourly thing or a 45-minute thing, but I will jump up and start like just stretching, moving my body around, maybe like dance a little bit, you know, because these are all forms of movement. So like
Yeah.
thinking that we have to do this really strenuous like hit or it's, I mean, hey, if hit's your thing and you love it, like that's great as long as you're giving your body time to recover. But like doing workouts that you align with, that you love, that also love your body back, right? So like all summertime, I just went for hour-long walks around the lake, and then I would try to get to the gym or do some body weight workouts a couple times a week. Now I don't go walking so much because it's cold, but I go to the gym 3 times a week. But I noticed my body was in better condition when I was just going for those walks every day, just because my body was constantly moving. So getting back to the sitting at the desk for so long is setting alarms on your phone if you don't have an Oura ring. And just every hour setting, like getting yourself up for 5 minutes, moving your body, doing some stretches, something a little more dynamic. And that could be great. If you're doing that 8 times a day, you're getting yourself 40 minutes of exercise, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Like when you think like, or you could go to the gym and work out for 40 minutes, but then sit all day long, right? So it's like, it's great to just be getting up constantly and moving.
And just get the act of like getting up and moving and not being like tied to the computer or anything else also makes you more productive
Yes.
during the rest of the time, right?
Yeah.
Like you are way more productive when you step away for a little bit and then come back reinvigorated and like not completely like zoned out, because when we sit and we stare at a screen for hours and hours, you just start to zone out and you start to do things a lot less efficiently. And so just getting up and walking away can make you come back and just power through it again.
Yeah. Like you're basically just going through the motions at that point when you're just like stuck there. So reinvigorate your brain, get some oxygen flow going there with some exercise. That's so like if you can't join a gym right now or go to a workout class, like again, there are other things you can do just throughout the day just to keep your body moving, right? So again, like setting the alarm, thinking like maybe taking the stairs more, obviously. I mean, that's easy, right? Like there's so many things we do because we're in a rush, like, oh, let's get to where we need to be. But parking further away from the entrance of where you need to be, like you guys have heard all these things, but do them, really like try it out for a week and see how you feel. Totally different. And again, like just my point of thinking of exercise as self-care more than something you have to do, like think of like, this is actually taking care of my body. This is going to bring me energy. This is something that's going to serve me when I'm 85 years old, when I'm like able to get up and move around and get where I need to go. So I feel like I just got on a soapbox. I'm sorry.
Shane said, hi, happy to catch you both. Hi, Shane.
Haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah. That's great. Don't worry about going off on tangents. I mean, we all do it. I definitely do it all the time.
I'm very this stuff. So
yeah, it's so crazy because like you're talking about like going out and being active, and I feel this week has been so tough for me. I've been like going stir crazy because I broke my toe.
Oh no.
And so I have been pretty much like laid in bed. So I feel like everything that we've talked about, like I'm doing wrong this week. So like I'm working from my bed, which is absolutely horrible for sleep. I mean, the water I'm drinking enough, but I'm going completely stir crazy, like because I can't really be out of like I have to have my foot up, and like besides for working at the computer, I have like these brief, a few hours at the computer, and then I like go back to bed. Today I actually went and we got my husband a new suit at the mall. But like that was like a huge activity for today. We went to a mall and a supermarket, and like what if you are kind of like in my position where you're stuck in bed right now, or you're not able to, let's say, do that movement? What can you do?
Yeah, I mean, just modify, right? Like literally sometimes just like moving around in your seat, right? So that you're not just, well, I'm talking about for somebody who's seated, right? I know that's not a thing right now, but just like kind of like bouncing around and fidgeting a little bit, like that is going to give you a little more energy than just
Yeah.
screen, for you being in bed, maybe it's like doing more like static stretches, for your upper body, like kind of propping yourself up and like twisting, so that you're not involving your lower body. Like just modify as much as you can and don't ever feel like, oh, this isn't enough, so I shouldn't do it at all. That's where a lot of us get stuck in that perfectionist mindset. Like, oh, well, if I can't do it 100%, then I'm not going to do it. But even that littlest bit that you're doing is bringing you closer to where you can really see the results that you want.
Yeah, I think that's such a good, it's like such a good thing to note, because I tell my clients that all the time from like a money standpoint. Like everybody waits until they're able to do a lot to do, right? Like I don't want to save, or I don't want to invest, and I don't have enough to do that. But that's not true. Like you can save pennies, you can save dollars, you can save, you can invest tiny amounts. So like saying I don't have enough, or like there's just too little, or I'm not doing, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's always worth it. So it's nice to see that it's also like that when it comes to working out or just moving.
Yeah, and you're training your brain and your body to do these new habits, right? So I could see from the investment, it might not feel fruitful to save, $20 a week, but like that's like setting you up to later as you have more to be able to invest $50 a week and then more than that, So
Yeah.
Never really thought about it with the investment. So I'm really happy that you brought that up, because that's going to make me kind of tweak how I think about things too. So
Yeah, I like it. We both gave each other like an added little benefit.
Yeah, for sure. So, and like that's why I'm even saying with the water, you know, if you hate drinking water, don't think like, oh my God, if I can't drink 96 ounces of water, then screw it. I'm just gonna go back to drinking Diet Coke and coffee all day. Like, no,
Yeah.
drink, do what you're doing, but drink 12 more ounces of water a day. Like that's when you start crowding out the things that aren't serving you, is by just bringing in things that are more beneficial to you in smaller amounts. And then they start to build up, and like you start coming up here with the stuff that serves you and coming down here with the things that just don't really let you show up your best self. So
Yeah. Yeah, I everything that you're saying makes so much sense, and it's crazy because like this is the type of stuff that I tell my clients when we're talking about money. Like you gradually learn to live on less by just putting away a little bit more, like saving a little bit more. And that's kind of what you're talking about. And I just do it like I tell people to do it with their bank account, where like you're crowding out the habits that you don't want, and like making sure that you're doing the habit, even a little bit of the habits that you do want, so that you can build upon those.
yeah, like that's the thing that's the hardest thing for me to see, is clients that are just like, they're just like, say, high performing women that are just used to like killing it in other areas of their life, and they're like, well, if I can't kill it in this, then like I'm just gonna give up. And I'm like, no, that's not it. I'm telling you, that's not it. Like, and it's just like you want to pull them back in, like, because that is not how like sustainable change happens, right? Like doing these huge actions that you can't sustain for the rest of your life, is that's not going to be the thing that works. That's why I don't give out like meal plans that are like, or I don't really even like to give out meal plans, because I like to help people just educate them so that they can start creating things that work for them, right? But doing things like really lowering calories, or getting rid of carbs and things like that, they will show up like right away. They'll might see some quick wins, but then they can't do that forever, and then all that weight just comes right back, and then they feel like they totally failed because of how the coach or the magazine or the product set them up. So
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, and actually, like you're talking about meal plans, you do give out recipes though every once in a while.
I do, because I eat the most delicious anti-inflammatory foods that like my clients love. I give them out in my community too, which I'll tell you guys about later. And I've actually put my mom's 86 years old. She's diabetic, and my dad's an Italian, like amazing cook. He makes his own, ciabatta bread and biscotti and so much deliciousness. And so I had to kind of retrain them a little bit, where they can still have those things some, but she lost 30 pounds just by not any strict, like not measuring food, not, by literally eating anti-inflammatory foods that calm her system down and balance her blood sugar, eating more frequently. Before, she wasn't eating enough food. That happens to a lot of people, is they think, oh, I should eat less, but that's actually slowing down their metabolism to match the energy that you're giving. So,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know how that happened, but my recipes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I actually remember you have this like soup that you had this program at the beginning of COVID. I joined one of your programs, and there was this amazing, I think it was leek soup. I have to find the recipe, but I'll go back to that every once in a while and make it.
Yeah.
And it is so incredible. And like I was able to like veganize it. I think it was mostly vegan. If I'm not mistaken, it was either fully vegan or like mostly vegan. And it's one of the best soups I've ever had in my life.
It's fennel, right? Roasted fennel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
you puree them. I have a couple. I have this really good butternut squash one that I think you'd love. That's definitely vegan. That I'll get you that one too.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
for gut healing, like because I've had so many gut health issues, and I seem to attract people like that. We do a lot of like healing spices and things. So I have really good like ginger and turmeric and things like that. So
Mm.
super delicious.
That's like right up my alley. That's all the things that I love.
Ah, good. So, well, that kind of brings us to our next, my next tip for you, strategy, whatever you want to think of it as, is eating more fiber. Okay, so fiber is going to help you feel full longer, but it's also feeding the good bugs in your gut, right? So, and we need to feed those good bugs because they carry out some really great processes in your body. But one of them is for lowering inflammation in your body. So, eating fibrous foods, but building your way up. So, if you don't eat any foods with fiber right now, you don't want to go hard because your gut will go crazy, like with a lot of bloating and gas. So, just gradually kind of building up in fiber. Those, like, I would say just adding one additional serving of vegetables to your daily nutrition would be a great way to start. If you're not like a big fan of vegetables, which is fine, there's a lot of people that grew up not eating vegetables and they just haven't really evolved that. Just starting with like one type. Ideally, you want to eat like a varied diet, so you're getting a different vitamins and minerals from different sources, right? So if you only eat broccoli, you're only going to get what broccoli gives you, right? And you need a wider range. That's why they say eat the rainbow. So, but just no pressure. Just start with one and just eat that new vegetable for like a couple weeks. Like for most people that gets really monotonous and again doesn't give you the variety. But if that's like you like broccoli or Brussels sprouts, like start there, and then eventually get yourself opened up to trying something else. I do have a lot of people with that, with like texture issues and things like that.
Yeah, and let me ask you, for like, let's say you're trying to budget for, is it okay to, because I know that sometimes like steamed vegetables are easier on like easier on your wallet sometimes to just like get a bag of frozen vegetables that then you can boil or steam, or should it be fresh?
Actually, a lot of vegetables that are frozen are like they're not so bad because they've been frozen. They've gone through the process of freezing, like right when they were at a good point. I'm not an expert on frozen vegetables, to be honest with you. I really do buy as much fresh or from the market, like from the farmer's market and stuff. But from what I know, it's like you're actually getting it at its freshest point and then it's frozen. So it's actually not so bad for you. What I like to do though, I love, especially if you're not a big fan of vegetables, like roasting vegetables gives them a really nice texture, and it brings out like a sweeter taste in the vegetables. So like Brussels sprouts steamed versus Brussels sprouts roasted, or like it's like a totally different ballgame.
That is.
So I mean, there's vegetables that, like, one thing that could be helpful is like there's vegetables that definitely need to be bought, and I can supply you guys with this list, or you can just Google like the Dirty Dozen list. There's vegetables that absolutely you should get organic, and then there's other vegetables and fruits that would be okay to buy that are not organic. So I pretty much buy that because it's like I'm not going to spend all the extra money when it's perfectly fine for me to eat it like that.
Okay.
So excuse me, I'm so sorry, but of course my phone wasn't totally charged, so I'm requesting for somebody to bring me down a charger because I don't want to.
Of course.
And then I have one more for you guys.
So the Dirty Dozen, is that like is it because I vaguely remember this from like us having a conversation about it. Is it the foods that kind of have their own peel, it's easier for those to buy not organic?
Yes. And definitely the other thing is when a food gets really gets super popular, like those will be like they'll have a because there's a big demand for it, so there'll be a lot more pesticides on those. So like spinach and kale, unfortunately, things that we eat all the time are like those ones really need to be organic. Still
Okay.
bananas, no. Or like even apples, like those ones should be organic, but if you're peeling off the skin, like washing them well and peeling off the skin, more than likely that's okay. I mean, but if you go with the real purists, you kind of have to do your own research and see what you feel most comfortable with. I would say best way to go. I want to give you my last one. Where did I just put that? Oh, geez, I had my notes here. But really, the last one is mindfulness, right? And I'm sure that you preach this so much. And this can be like from how we eat, our, what we're doing when we eat our food. Are we sitting in front of the computer or scrolling on our phones or doing anything that's taking away the process of digestion in our stomach? Like if we're like requiring, if we're in fight or flight and we are watching the news and we're fired up or scared or looking at political stuff, which I'm not saying in any way we should be in the dark about things, but you don't want to do that stuff when you're eating, right? Because you're confusing your body a lot. So that's one thing, is mindfulness in nutrition, like really becoming aware of the food that you're eating, how it makes you feel, like paying attention to your hunger and fullness cues, like eating every 3 to 4 hours and like knowing like, okay, my body's telling me I'm hungry. I'm not ignoring that,
Yeah.
that. And then, obviously like meditation and breath work, things that can really calm your nervous system down so that you can receive and do the things that I'm sure you teach your clients with manifesting and things like that. It's a huge part of my day. Like every morning I wake up and meditate for at least like, I'd say anywhere, depending on the day, from like 10 to 20 minutes, whether it's like going through a guided meditation or breath work, or just doing like listening to affirmations have been really, really huge for me and for my clients. Like they're like very skeptical at first. And then after doing it for 2 weeks, they're like, whoa, I just got a lot done today. I just prepped all my food for like a week and I went for a walk. Then I went to the gym. They're like, who is this person? And it's not like, it's just kind of subtle messaging that's just really like, in the beginning you're like, who is this person? Like, I'm not that person. And then it's just kind of like, you're like, oh, I can be that person if I decide I want to be that person.
Yeah. I think a good way to actually ease into it is I do these deep sleep meditations with affirmations.
Ooh,
So
nice.
like you have the affirmations going. By the time it actually gets the affirmations, you're already asleep, so you don't feel uncomfortable, because sometimes the affirmation portion can make you feel a little uncomfortable.
Okay.
Because we're just not used to like thinking positive things about ourselves, like just saying them out loud, which is crazy.
Right.
But like if you start it, it's actually one of the things that my husband, when I first met him, we bonded over, because we listened to the same meditation guru. And it was like this like really random, not like a popular one or anything. And like, it was just very weird that we both connected to this
So cool.
one like meditation expert, and that we followed him. But his name is Kenneth Suarez, and he has these amazing like some of them are like 90 minutes, 105 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's an amazing meditation and the affirmations in one, and it puts you to sleep. So it kind of like gets all of those things taken care of at once. And when you wake up amazing.
Ooh.
Like some of my best mornings are after I've listened to one of his meditations, because it like superpowers you through the day. And even if you're not like conscious for the affirmations, they still sink in. Hi, I haven't seen you in so long.
All right, I'm plugging in. All right, thank you, Boomy. Yeah, I want to try that Kenneth Suarez.
Yeah, and I listen to him on Insight Timer, but he's on YouTube as well. My husband listens to him.
Okay.
I just like Insight Timer. If you don't have it, like, it's a great app.
I don't. Insight Timer?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look that
up. It's
up.
like a great app, and you can bookmark different things so that, like, I bookmark my favorite meditations from him, and that way, like, it's easy for me to just get back to them, and you get to like explore different meditation experts, different meditation leaders, gurus. I don't really know what the term is for it, but
I'm definitely gonna try that. Okay. Because I do listen to them sometimes falling asleep, but they're only like 15 minutes long. So then I'll wake up after and turn it off. But I'm interested to see, like, I like the idea of it just programming subconsciously while you're sleeping. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they're all different meditations. Like, you can, you don't have to have one specific thing. You can, like, some of the affirmations are for health. Some of them are for healing. Like, there are different meditations, different affirmations for different things, some for prosperity, success. I mean, I firmly believe in meditation and affirmations. That's one of the things that I have with my clients. I have meditation with money affirmations.
Yeah, I've done some of those.
I just created like an oracle deck with different money affirmations, so you could like pick your money affirmation for the day.
Ooh, I love that. I have to get one of those. Let me know when you. Yeah, so that pretty much ties it up. Like, I didn't get into major nutrition because that's a whole nother podcast, but those 5 things will, like, if people do those 5 things consistently, again, with the vegetables, it's like about crowding out the other things that might not be serving us, right? It's not saying you have to only eat vegetables and you can never eat like bread or pizza or whatever. It's just like, the more you eat the stuff that's really fueling your body and serving you, you want less of the things that make you feel kind of shitty, So that's
And then I know that you have a challenge coming up.
I'd love to share with you guys about that. I'm really excited about it because, again, as you can see, I'm super passionate about helping people really feel well and just not have to overthink what they need to do to actually see results. So I'm running this holiday challenge. It's called the Holiday Thrive Challenge. And it's all about, last year I ran this challenge and it was like a nutrition and like self-care kind of challenge, but I called it Survive the Holidays. And this year I was like, what is wrong with, why would we say survive the holidays? Like, we want to thrive and not just have this attitude like, oh, I'm just going to get through it, so then I can start the new year. No, like, we actually want to show up, be present, and feel absolutely vibrant through the holidays instead of just like going through the motions in the holidays. So it's all about, it's obviously a community, like a group environment. So other people that are on the same mission that want to actually show up and enjoy, that want to be able to go to parties and eat the food and not overthink it, but have strategies in place in how to have a healthy balance, right? So I have something called the holiday food freedom formula, which again, it's a mix of like having balanced nutrition, so protein, fats, and carbs, knowing how to have the right ratio on your plate, when to eat them, like meal timing for blood sugar regulation, so you're not spiking and going up and down depending on what you're eating, and if you're skipping meals, which a lot of us do, skip meals. And then nutrition mindfulness, right? So experiencing our food and releasing the guilt that we have around food. So that is a big part of it. And then we have the Thrive mindfulness framework, where we like have this balance of commitment and then affirming, right? So putting those affirmations together, and then meditation. So the combination of those two things, right? And of course, with mindful movement, intentional movement, those things are going to really help us feel our absolute best in the holidays, and not like push pause on us and just say, okay, I'll get to me in January, right? Because that's not a good feeling, to just feel like it's something you can just put yourself on the back burner and then just say like, all right, I'll get to it when I get to it, like, and put everything else first. No, that's not, that's not necessary this year or ever again. So that's what I'm doing. It starts the Monday after Thanksgiving. So, and it runs through January 7th. So setting up a really strong foundation of wellness before the New Year's rolls around.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do people get in touch with you? How do they join?
Yeah. So I have a page. Maybe I could send you the link, and you can share that. Also, please friend me on Facebook, because I have this awesome new community that I just took over from my coach. It's called Fit and on Fire. And I've got over like 2,100 awesome women in that community that are just looking to live like this vibrant, powerful life, aligned life. And so I do a lot of trainings in there. So basically I'm doing a training tomorrow night at 6:00, a free training. And it's all about like how to approach Thanksgiving. And you can really use this sort of framework for any big holiday, or like any party or wedding or whatever it is you have coming up. If you follow this framework, you are going to actually feel awesome. You're not going to overeat. You're still going to be able to have the things that you love when you're out, but balancing it out, and feel really good, like with the decisions that you're making throughout the day. So that's going to be tomorrow night at 6. So please join me over there. It's called Fit and on Fire. So maybe I could give you the link to that too, Galit.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I hope.
Yeah, and I will post it in the comments, and anyone who has questions for Sarah, I'm sure I will keep the comments, and I will shoot them over to Sarah if she doesn't see them. So we will get you your answers. Please reach out to Sarah. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, I'm so happy I could be here. This was so fun. And I really love how our like philosophy really just works for people that are trying to build wealth or build health, because they are so hand in hand.
They are. And I mean, I've spoken about this before, when you are healthier, it brings more wealth.
Yes.
Right? Just it allows you to have space in your life for wealth. And when you are not feeling your best and you are not taking care of your body, you are also not taking care of your wallet, and you just can't, right? Yeah. You physically cannot handle it.
Yeah. So true. Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy I got to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. Have an amazing night and happy Money Monday.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.